Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Stanley's broken. uh. So yeah, Pyramid Head. How much research did you get in for Pyramid Head?
Um, I watched 2 YouTube videos and I read the 2 paragraphs in the lore. I watched a video that was a couple of different scenes from the movie,
Oh, we
and
don't
then
talk about that movie. That's
uh,
no.
and then I watched some other video of the guy talking about Freud
Okay.
and how Pyramid Head is a personification of James Sutherland's id. And
Okay.
I was okay with it halfway through, and he was like, "Now let's talk about Freud." And I was like, "I've already invested so much time in this video. Why did you bring up Freud?" I hated
Okay.
it.
So here's what I've got, which if anybody's like really hardcore Silent Hill, I apologize. The only real experience I've got with it is 2, and I watched the movie before I ever experienced Silent Hill the game,
I have no experience with any of it at all.
and I have been told that the movie should burn in a fire. Like it would be drawn to Silent Hill and it would die there. Uh, so what I know about Pyramid Head is that he is pretty much the personification of the guilt of James Sunderland or whatever his name is. And because like one of the first things you see with Pyramid Head, which is why everybody just like wants to bang him, is because he's constantly banging the monsters of Silent Hill. Like you walk into a hallway and Pyramid Head is literally just like banging a mannequin in a hallway.
What?
Um, yeah, yeah. In the game, he has relations with some of the monsters in Silent Hill, and that is one of the first times you see.
Robin loves Silent Hill, and that makes sense now.
So, um, and oddly enough, Pyramid Head doesn't like he does if you fail the one encounter with him. Because the other time that you see him, he is like he's just you're in a small enclosed room with him, and he's just kind of like coming after you. He's a slow mover. Why I need to play these games now? Yeah, Silent Hill 2 is where you watch him bang it out. Um, so anyway, he like moves very slowly, and if you don't, if you run into him, and he'll actually kill you there. But if you play the game as it's supposed to be played, Pyramid Head doesn't really actually kill you or really anybody else. He gives off the appearance that he does at some times, but for the most part, Pyramid Head is literally pushing you towards resolving your guilt. And that's like he's there to resolve the guilt. And Pyramid Head, like the reason why you see Pyramid Head banging everything and its mother is because James's wife was very sick and she was not interested in having sexual relations with James while she was sick. Or they might, I think they're also having like arguments and stuff. Either way, sex was not on the table, and James was getting very sexually frustrated, which shows up in Pyramid Head banging the fuck out of everything.
Interesting.
um, but yeah, for the most part, he actually pushes James towards what he needs to resolve his guilt. So like when you're stuck in that room with him, when he finally just leaves on his own. You don't kill Pyramid Head. He just leaves on his own. But he goes down to the flooded stairs and then releases the water so you can move forward. There's another part where he literally just shoves James off of a roof into the next area that he needs to go to progress. So he's not killing James so long as you're actually like playing the way you're supposed to. He's just pushing him forward to what he needs to resolve. And the big thing about the Silent Hill as a whole, because like Pyramid Head by himself is terrifying because he's constantly like he nags at you, he follows you, he scares you. You're constantly worried about him, kind of like when you're actually guilty. But
Mm-hmm.
Silent Hill itself actually consists of 2 different sections, which is the regular foggy Silent Hill, and then there's the other realm of Silent Hill where your guilt actually becomes real. And like that's when you see like weird shit on the walls and there's gore and everything. And in one case, James actually he can enter into other people's other worlds where the personification of their guilt is there and it can hurt him. So in the other world of Silent Hill, things get very dangerous because, your guilt can literally become real and take form and hurt other people. And pretty much the only way you're going to get out is if you can resolve whatever it is that you're having an issue with. And if you don't, then you die there.
Hmm.
There's actually other pyramid heads in Silent Hill too. Um, they have spears, and
Yes.
that's the only time you see a pyramid head die, because at the end he's kind of accepted what he's done, and the pyramid heads impale themselves on their own spears. So James has no ability to kill a pyramid head. The pyramid heads are the only things that will go away, and the only way that they're going to go away is if you come to grips with what you've done or whatever guilt you have, or you die.
Interesting.
So that's what you've got. Pyramid Head pretty much is pushing you towards getting your shit done and dealing with it. He also, fun
So
fact, has a tongue. And that asset is unused in DBD, but it exists. It's a very long thing that sticks out from underneath, and it's very like snaky and wobbly.
that's disgusting. But I'm sure there are people that have that kink.
Oh
Um
yeah.
uh so is this going to be like a double birthday present for you, or not only do we talk about Pyramid Head but also no survivors die?
I mean, I think survivors are gonna die because people aren't gonna resolve their shit.
Okay.
Because, like, there's somebody that never resolved her shit and she just walked into a fire. Like, she's just like, it's not going away. This is my life. And walked into a fire in Silent Hill. And that's the last we ever see of her.
Oh.
There was one that, like, he ended up, he didn't want to accept what he did. Like, he was constantly making excuses. And then he ended up fighting with James, and James just straight up killed him because he couldn't get out of the room, and he was just trapped there with all the like a bunch of meat because of that's kind of how it was manifesting for that guy.
Mhm.
So people can die. Like there's this little girl was an absolute bitch and two, and she pretty much she did what she came to do and she left. Like she was fine. She literally came to drop off a letter, and she did her shit, she left. Like if you don't have anything weighing on you, you can just drop in and hang out, visit, go mind your own business later.
Robin says
But
that this dead talk should have a joke ending like the Silent Hill games do.
yeah.
I don't know what that means.
One of the endings of Silent Hill 2, you find out that everything was controlled by a dog in a giant control room with monitors.
That's beautiful.
And that's the end. So
That's hilarious. Um okay. So how do we want to do this? Is this going to be like do we go through the survivors like one by one? What's their guilt? Would they make it out or not?
yes. And when we get them all in there, again, everybody can like people can interact with the manifestations of each other's guilt. And you're not supposed to get in the way of anything that's going on.
And if you
So like
if you
cuz
do, you die.
yeah, Pyramid Head gets real pissed off if you interfere with somebody getting over the shit.
Got it. Got it. So I already
Um
know Steve's going to die.
yeah, probably. Uh and then also they're all drawn to Silent Hill. Like you can go there of your own will, but people that have that guilt are generally drawn there for some reason.
Okay.
So,
So, should we
you stand there.
should we just like list out all the survivors
Yeah.
and just maybe change up the form on this one a bit? Okay, so Dwight, Meg, Claudette, Jake. I need to actually like pull the list of survivors up. Nia has no regrets.
Yeah, yeah, Nia's gonna walk out of this scot-free. This is like kind of like the look-see, except less extreme.
I don't know about the look-see.
The look-see will come to your house if you've got an unresolved issue, or a regret. Like there is one instance, I think like somebody's child died and they held on to their toy, so the look-see came and killed them because they couldn't let go.
Mm-hmm.
But then somebody that murdered somebody and didn't regret it at all just walked away. So yeah, anybody that like has zero regrets, zero guilt would probably be able to just take off.
I think Yunjin has guilt. We can wait. We can get to that. I was just typing her name and
We don't know if she actually does feel guilty or not.
I haven't really read up on Jonah to be honest.
I glanced through and he definitely has guilt.
Okay, cool.
100%. That's like that is his backstory is he feels guilty as fuck.
Okay, good. I will uh get Pyramidhead up here. Okay. Um insert column to the left. All right. So we got a couple columns here. We've got the I don't know if I want to call this order of death right now. We'll plug and play, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Um okay, but we can list out like what their guilt is and then whether or not they
Dwight
die.
Dwight's definitely what he did to that one guy.
His boss. He like
Yeah.
poisoned him, wasn't it?
Yeah, he made him like hallucinate and shit cuz he drugged him. So yeah.
Um let's see. Is this the first one with Jonah? This is the first one with Jonah. He
It
has an
is.
iPad. That's all you need to know, I think. It's cheese,
maybe
apparently.
maybe maybe that's actually his calculator cuz he's a mathematician.
Oh, it could be. Hmm.
Megan.
Meg feels guilty about leaving her mom.
Okay.
100%. I don't know what Claudette would feel guilty about.
She might feel guilty cuz like her parents were trying to get her to do other stuff, like her mom was very pressuring, so she might have like unresolved issues of letting down her mom. Even though it's like not justified, but it's still, you know,
I feel like what you're saying.
Jake left his family. Nia, I
She
really
I don't think she regrets it or has guilt about it, but like she like tagged the mayor's car or something, right? Jonah's an iPad kid confirmed, says Robin.
I don't think Nia would get called because I don't think she has any guilt or regrets in her life. Nia lives her life by her rules and she's been playing them to a T.
She is the entity. Lori.
She's probably being like hounded by guilt about her friends and not believing them or just the trauma of being pursued by a killer. Nia's actually part of the Silent Hill cult.
Ace. Um I don't know.
Hmm.
He might be another one that's like no guilts. Because everything he's done with like gambling has been fair, right?
As far as I know,
Like he gambles a lot. It's definitely his flaw, but he's like fair about it. He has nothing to be guilty about.
is it an addiction? Because I could see
Ace's
addiction
regret is he
pulling
thinks
him.
he's too sexy. Ace is hot. Let's be real. Um,
Oh God.
as a fellow Ace, I have to say, but I'll leave now. Bye. Um, I'm sorry. What did you say again?
Is he? Do you think he's addicted to gambling?
Yes,
Because that could be a pull.
but it's not guilt. It's
So,
only guilt if you want it to be resolved.
so one of the people, the one that walked into the fire, had like she had trauma that occurred to her that I don't want to say here. Um, and she was never able to let that go,
Okay,
and she ended up there.
but that's trauma, and people often feel guilt for trauma that's inflicted upon them because
Okay,
there's that whole victim blaming
we'll let it.
mentality.
We'll let Ace go then.
Bill,
Dude served a nom. He's got to have something.
not the baby killers. Um, okay, just nom. Fung.
She definitely has something going on because she was going to bars and stuff at a young age because she was not dealing with stress very well.
Is that a stress thing? I
So,
thought that's like a normal thing.
well, I think it was like based on performance stuff. Fung forgot to charge her iPhone before bed, so she couldn't game. Yeah, let me pull up Fung.
I'm
Let's
like
see.
I'm like rusty on backstories now.
I know. She left her home and spent her time in internet cafes. So she left her parents and became the black sheep of a one-child family.
She spiraled out of control and fell into a pattern of self-destruction. She started wandering
At
the streets and oh, there you go.
at night, she would stay up tormented by the thought of disappointing her parents and her fans.
Okay, okay. Guilt gamer.
Yes.
Robin. All right. See, when you said like, oh, she went to a bunch of bars at a young age, I'm like, that's just normal. You left out the spiraled out of control part.
Let's see.
David. Guilt, British. Just
um he was an occasional debt collector. I wonder if that ever bothered him.
that he fought in clandestine bare knuckle fights. Free from the constraints of a career and enabled by the wealth of his family. Hmm.
His meteoric rise came to an abrupt end when he lost his temper and assaulted a referee.
But okay, so uh continued going after that, earning himself a lifetime ban from the league and cutting short what most people assumed was going to be a long, successful career. King was unconcerned. He didn't regret that. I made the British joke. I didn't even see Robin put it into chat. We're on the same wavelength. It,
So
He
one of
could.
the other people that were in there, um, he actually killed some people and he didn't necessarily feel bad about it. Like he was trying to make excuses as to why it was okay. But we also don't have that much background on David, I don't think, to like
No. And I don't
get his
I don't think he's it doesn't say he's killed anybody. Like he was a debt collector. He probably beat the shit out of them.
yeah.
Things that are quite amusing. One of my favorite memories I return to time and time again whenever I need a lift is Gasoline Man. Grabs this man who skipped a few payments on the loan. He drags him by the hair and throws him in an alley. He grabs a metal gasoline container and douses the sod with oh god, I scrolled. Its contents and lights a match. He stares at him through flickering. Now he killed this man. He burned him alive.
Oh my god.
The man's eyes pop out of his head as the flame hits his chest and falls to the floor with a sizzle. King tells him to make his payment, or next time he'll use real gasoline. No, he didn't kill him.
Oh god.
He just burned him enough. He's horrifying!
Uh Apparently he also has father issues cuz his dad was beating the crap out of his mom and he didn't do anything and he finally stood up to him
Wait, he
and then he
did.
gets kicked out.
I say he finally did stand up to him?
Yeah.
So that's resolved.
And then he got kicked out of his house.
Yeah.
Like his mom was helping his dad up and they booted him.
I'm.
He never had friends, not a single bloody friend to help him out. He had friends once upon a time in school, but that was long ago. He needs money, but money doesn't grow on trees and challenge him, not after what he did to his opponent. I think David's gonna go.
Do you?
I
I
do.
almost feel like he literally just doesn't regret any of this.
And then also he was saying that when he's against an opponent, he frequently sees his father.
So unresolved daddy issues then?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, lucky for him. This is the daddy episode.
Yeah.
Quentin. Um,
I say easily trauma.
I due to the nature of the trauma, I almost want to just not even bring Quentin into it.
Just let Quentin have a pass.
Yeah.
All right, Quentin, you were a good boy.
In our minds, we know he would have been here, but I don't want to talk about Quentin's trauma.
I mean, he also might have been to a really good therapist and gotten over it.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah. There we go. That's great.
Quentin got a really good therapist. He, I think,
He
by the
got
end of that
Robin.
movie, he was
Robin fixed him.
got a great therapist. He ended up getting like a girlfriend and was working through all the family issues. Like, let's just let Quentin go.
Quentin's fine.
We'll just let him
Just
go. Tap has all kinds of issues.
Tapas.
Taps taps in there.
The amount of regrets, all of the death around him, not being able to like give up anything. Oh,
Yeah, literally
just
gets kicked off the force, is just in a tiny room with all of the Saw shit around him.
just his whole life. It's just a regret.
Yeah.
Kate.
Oh my.
Hi, Raiden.
Hey, dude, calm down. You really had to bark and fart at the same time, didn't you? Okay. Has Kate really done anything that she regrets? Like, I feel like she's led a pretty nice little life
I
here.
think she has too. Um, let's see. Yeah, because like her mom supported her music career, which then took off.
Mm-hmm. She liked making people happy with singing. She won competitions.
Hers
The
was
only thing
hers wasn't a story of rock excess though, just the road, her guitar, maybe a good bourbon to end the day.
she seems to have issues is that for her to win, others had to lose, and that wasn't in her nature. So I think she just stopped competing and just went in and did what she wanted to do. I think she's fine.
Yeah.
Way
Well,
to go, Kate.
no guilt. All right. Let me go back to see who's next. Adam.
My little baby Adam.
Oh, please don't have any guilts.
Let's see. His father died in a car accident when he was 2. He got the hell beaten out of him for bullies. Let's see.
He taught extra classes to afford applying fees overseas so he could go to Japan.
He learned the language of the place that he was going to. He literally dove in front of a girl to save her.
He's just perfect.
Yeah.
Adam's the perfect man. Just
Good job, Adam.
no guilts.
Silent Hill has no place for you.
Now Jeff.
Robin, I'm sure you could ruin Adam. Okay, Jeff.
not ruin Adam. I'm sorry.
I think Jeffrey's gonna be on there.
Jeff's absolutely here. Uh, if not for everything that's gone on in his past, um, for leaving his dog behind.
Oh. Okay, yeah.
It's a like a Futurama thing. Jane, absolutely some mommy issues
Yeah. Ash
because
is definitely in there. There are full episodes of Ash trying to come to grips with shit and him just like, no, I don't have a problem.
what would he be in for?
Lusting over Jacksonville.
The city?
He's constantly like, that's where he wants to go. He wants to go to Jacksonville. That's the
Mississippi?
perfect place. No, Florida.
Oh, wait, that's Jackson, Mississippi, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jacksonville, Florida? Isn't that Panhandle territory?
Yeah.
Oh God.
I mean, I feel like
I
that
hate
should
him
be enough
more.
right there. But otherwise, he feels
Yikes.
guilty about like all of his friends and his girlfriend dying in that cabin in Evil Dead. So
Okay, we'll take off the likes Panhandle, Florida. Everyone died. Okay. Nancy, Barb. Just
yeah,
100%.
Barb.
Steve. Steve. His dog is behind it all. He doesn't survive. Aww.
Ash is gonna die, and I fully accept that.
Lukey just said,
Um,
okay, you know the joke ending dog?
yeah,
It's Jeff's dog, Lukey said.
that would be great.
I love that.
Resolve that.
So Steve, I think he actually regrets like uh not being good enough for Nancy.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Because that was like a whole entire season thing.
Yeah.
Did he resolve it though?
Uh,
I think he did.
I think he.
I think
I
he
feel
I
like
think he moved on.
I was gonna say that might be like a little bit of like lingering jealousy, but I think at the end of the day, if Steve goes to Silent Hill for this, he's gonna be able to resolve it.
He would, but I think I think he's gonna get in the way of Nancy and interfere there.
Well, he's allowed to help. He can help somebody through it. He just can't prevent them.
Oh, okay.
Because James actually does come and try and help people. Like, there's somebody that's got a knife, and, very clearly,
I've had time to
uh,
work on things while you were away, Jeffrey.
like, she very clearly looks like she's going to hurt herself, and James takes the knife from her and is offering help. Like, he offers to help most of them and is, like, trying to help them through. And even in one person's other world in Silent Hill, he actually fights one of their own personal monsters for them while they're in the room.
That's
So
nice of him.
you can help people through their trauma from what I can see in Silent Hill 2. You just can't prevent somebody from getting through what they need to get through.
Okay. So I guess my question is, would Steve be in here because he's not over not
I
being good
think
enough
he
for Nancy, or does he have no guilt and we get another one that we don't have to worry about?
honestly, I think he'll go, but I also think he's going to be okay.
Okay. Yeah, see. Okay, Yui. Yui's got some past.
She does.
Does she regret it? Didn't she kill a man?
She didn't kill him. She just beat the hell out of him.
Okay. They took him away and rushed Yui to the hospital for trauma x-rays.
I was gonna say she did experience the trauma of somebody breaking into her apartment and stealing her shit, trying to beat the hell out of her, and then wasn't it her grandfather was threatening to throw her out for not doing for doing motorcycle shit because he was like,
For
"That's
doing
not a
gang
girly
shit.
thing to do."
Yeah.
I think Yui's gonna be another one where she'll get over it, but she's going.
What do I list as the guilt?
Grandpa and trauma.
I thought it was her dad.
It might have been. I think it was her grandma that wasn't it her grandma that helped her out?
Her grandma helped
I
her
don't know.
out, but I think her dad was the one that like kicked her to the
Somebody was a
curb.
douche to her.
Daddy issues.
Mm-hmm.
Me too, bestie. Zarina.
She's definitely got some shit. I mean, the first paragraph, she felt that her cultural difference painted a target on her back, and to avoid ridicule and bullies, she observed what popular kids liked and learned to project the image they preferred.
But
So,
so that in particular, she ended up overcoming, and that's how she got into the whole documentary stuff.
okay.
Um,
Um,
Public video surveillance camera filmed her father carrying two coffees at a street corner a few blocks from home. A tall, hooded man stood behind him. The man shouted something at her father, who took a step back, startled. Suddenly and unexpectedly, the man pushed him in the street as a car sped by. She became the perpetrator, Clark Stevenson. She became obsessed with Clark.
okay.
Um,
Well, there's something that could you know, that could do it.
hold on. But she does. I don't. Let's see. Most of them shared eccentric anecdotes in hopes of being filmed. But one story stood out from the rest. The entire wing of Hellshire Penitentiary was sealed off because of the Mad McMassacre. From working on her Sacco and Vanzetti film, Zarina knew that the official story wasn't always the true story. She investigated Hellshire's records and found an Irish born inmate sentenced to 15 years for assault in 1860. According to the penitentiary's blueprint, the sealed off wing was part of Hellshire's original infrastructure. Next morning, she was joining the Hellshire Penitentiary walking tour. She blended into the crowd of jet lagged tourists and veered off when they headed towards the kitchen. She had memorized the blueprint and knew exactly where to go and how to avoid surveillance cameras. An unexpected security detail nearly cut her investigation short, but she was able to hide under an old, dusty prison bed. When the guards disappeared, she continued her search and finally found Mick's cell. And then she had entered the fog. I don't.
The last part where she looked down and she saw her father, I think there's some sort of obsession with her dad there.
Oh, yeah, okay. Her father's eyes. Yeah, okay.
Sh-
Cheryl.
Cheryl's an easy because I think literally her lore says that Pyramid Head's been like, or uh in Pyramid Head's items or something, that he's been tormenting her with dreams of gore. So I'm not sure what the fuck.
Dreams of Gore. Got it.
Like, he's already targeting her. Felix and Elodie, the parents thing.
Oh, I was gonna put Felix down for imposter syndrome.
I mean, that works too. I mean,
And then Elodie for the parents. Yunjin. Does she feel guilty? Because she knew about what Trickster was doing, right?
yes. But again, there's the one guy that did kill some people, and he was pretty much like, the reason why he couldn't leave was because he kept trying to justify what he did instead of coming to terms with what he, actually
She
did.
would be
So,
that. She would be that type.
yes.
Okay. Okay. So, and then Jill.
I think Jill and Leon, like, some people got left behind in Raccoon City.
No. I want to see the movie so
Just
bad.
do it.
I
Don't
want
do
to.
it.
Listen, Evan Joga is in it. He's Leon. I love that. I love that for me.
It's so bad, though.
I love him. Oh gosh. Okay, my sister never even heard of Resident Evil. She doesn't know it exists. So when we were in Florida, we were talking about movies to go see. We saw House of Gucci and Ghostbusters, which Ghostbusters was amazing. House of Gucci, Oscar clickbait, but still good. Um, but I was like, hey, let's go see Resident Evil Return to Raccoon City. And she just started laughing out loud. And she was like, Raccoon City. Because, like me, when I first heard it, she also thought of a city of raccoons. What's Zen? Zen is who I am streaming with tonight. Welcome, Hidden. It is Zen's birthday, so feel free to pop in there and say happy birthday. Um, but yeah, so she didn't know, and I was like, well, so Raccoon City's just the city. And I was like, it's kind of like a zombie movie,
Yeah.
but they left people behind.
Yes. And then Leon actually is like trying to figure out who's behind Umbrella. So he's got a bit of an obsession with that too. So
Camera's frozen. That's it.
okay.
It's on my end. Um,
I'm like
okay.
trying to remember.
Well, okay. So yeah, what was Leon's?
he's kind of obsessed with the Umbrella Corporation just from his like brief bit of info on the wiki. I don't remember a lot from the Resident Evil game that I played.
I don't know anything about this. I don't know.
If anything else, he probably regrets having to escort the president's daughter because that was so tedious. He never should have gotten in that boat. That boat with the giant fish.
I need to actually play some of the Resident Evil games eventually one day when I'm not a chicken. But I'm afraid of everything. Oh.
I, I feel like Resident Evil really missed an opportunity with the shopkeeper. Like I every time you'd come to the shopkeeper, like it was a safe area, so you'd hear this music. It's
Mm-hmm.
like how hard would people have shit their pants if the boss was actually the vendor and you walked into this safe area and he just like pulled out all of his guns that he'd been selling and buying and just open fired. So yeah, Leon's not letting go of what happened. Long story short.
I'm very lost on what to put here. Not letting go of what.
Like all the shit that went down at Raccoon City.
Ah, okay. Just
Whatever the fuck Umbrella Corps did.
Michaela. Honestly, leaving her roommate with rent.
Yeah, but I mean, coming from a millennial's point of view, it might have been worth it to get sucked up by the entity with the rising rent prices.
She had anxiety. She's so millennial. I would also go into the entities realm if it meant I didn't have to pay rent anymore.
uh,
Let's see.
she wanted to remove the recording of whatever it was that when she was levitating.
What?
In her backstory, they were doing some shit. Let's see.
She narrated a tale of billowing winds on a cold autumn night, of a loyal friend disappearing before daylight, of forgotten victims hiding in the wings of darkness, of throbbing graves sealed with terrible secrets, and of eternal night in the shadow of death.
So when she woke screaming one night, she had had enough. She asked Julian to watch her while she slept and record anything usual. Julian agreed and started recording. Kayla lay in bed. So then she starts screaming and levitating and shit. Um, and that's when they first see the spidery fang slam through the bath, which woke up Michaela. And the power went out. They barricaded the door. Everything comes back on. Spider's gone. And then she says a sleepless night followed. When she returned to the apartment after a shift, Julian was not there. Michaela wanted to remove the recording of their ordeal, which Julian had posted online. Suspecting Julian might be at school, she left. The door clicked shut behind her, masking a stifled cry from the bathroom. So she felt like she was watched. So she wanted to get rid of that recording. So she was trying to find Julian. Did she ever find him? My dogs are
I don't
stampeding
think
everywhere.
I don't think she did. Because then she
There
went
we
to like
go.
the story time thing. If she told it right, perhaps Julian would hear it. And then she
Okay,
started to tell the story and then vanished.
so the guilt of summoning the entity and her friend vanishing.
Okay. And then Jonah, our new boy, whose lore I've not read. So please.
Okay, so I very briefly went through this. Um, so here's here's what he got. So this is just the important part. Put to work deciphering messages from signals around your archive footage found that for 23 years, dozens had been operating in an unknown capacity. Simple blinks of light hid complex codes that revealed disjointed information. It wasn't much to go on, but he discovered the messages seemed to involve powerful and wealthy individuals from around the globe. Project was abruptly shut down. All agents involved were transferred to other assignments. Jonah was moved to a covert task force in the newly formed Democracy of Quantana, where he intercepted and decoded messages from bands of rebels. His work enabled the US government to target numerous rebel locations. Then the bombs dropped. It was discovered too late that the messages were decoys. Civilian casualties were staggering, the true numbers covered up by officials. Jonah blamed himself. He saw firsthand the damage done and the families torn apart. So, war shit.
Yeah. Okay, that's good enough.
We
Alright.
got this. Okay, so we can go ahead and pull out Nia, Ace, Kate, Adam. Yeah.
All right, everyone else gets drawn to Silent Hill, Midwich
Yes.
Elementary, to face their the personifications of their guilt and regrets.
Yes.
Um, we could just
Okay, yeah, we probably could just go in order and knock this out. So I could see Dwight not getting over it because I imagine that one, he's going to be fucking terrified going through Silent Hill, the regular Silent Hill with all the fog. But when it turns over to the other Silent Hill, after he's been chased and pushed by Pyramidhead and hasn't quite died of a heart attack yet, when it goes to the other world, I imagine he see the hallucinations that
of
he
like
put his boss through, and that would be it. He'd go down.
first Ed Dwight.
Yeah.
What an opener. All right. So it's
So that's gonna be one body in the dungeon wrapped up in barbed wire.
Meg. I think Meg could actually make it.
I hate to admit it, but yeah, she actually does have, according to her lore, she does have a lot of determination.
Yeah.
So I think that, like,
And I actually think that this whole thing would almost be therapeutic for her.
I was gonna say I could easily see it in a horror movie type thing that she's going through the fog and she's running trying to get out, and then when it switches to the other world, it's time for her to stop running and actually face up to it. So I feel like her mom would probably be whatever monster it is in there, and she would come to grips with it, and she would be allowed to leave.
Claudette. Kind of the opposite.
Yeah,
I don't think she has the same determination that Meg does.
I don't think she does either.
I think she would if she didn't have somebody to help her.
So would anybody help her?
Adam.
Because I don't think anybody's gonna, like, honest to God, I think Dwight's gonna freak out and hide, so nobody's gonna save him.
No.
But Claudette, is there anybody that would back her up and pull her?
Bill or Lori? No, not Lori.
Lori's not gonna do shit. Claudette's just gonna hear screaming down the hall. I could see Yui possibly, or Steve,
Steve is our good
because
boy.
I could see both of them like seeing her
Oh
like
yeah,
freaking
Quentin.
out in the other world that one of them would actually come and help her out. And she might continue for a while with them. And I guess depending on how this goes, we'll have to determine if she actually makes it.
So
So,
gets help from, we want to say Yui.
yeah, let's do Yui.
Okay, we'll start
We'll
there.
just
We'll come back.
yeah, we'll come back around to see going through two of Silent Hill.
Let me just highlight that real quick. Jake. I don't. I know his family wants him to come home.
Yeah.
I don't think he would. Um, I think he does feel a little bit of guilt for leaving them, but also too stubborn to go back or like acknowledge that guilt really.
If he's not going to acknowledge it, he doesn't get to go. He has to acknowledge it.
Wait, what do you mean he doesn't get to go?
He can't leave if he doesn't acknowledge what's bugging him.
But he's already there at Silent Hill, right?
Yeah, just because you're
Yeah.
there doesn't mean that you've acknowledged it
Yeah, so he dies here.
unless he gets help.
He dies here.
Okay, Jake died.
Cause of death. Stubborn.
Just imagine like he's just like hiding out like in the trees in the
In the
fog
playground.
and then it goes to the other world and his family starts just coming after him out of the fog and that's just what does him in because you can't run from him for too long.
Oh man. Alright, we don't have to worry about Nia.
Yeah,
Lori.
Lori's toast. There's no way.
Yeah.
This would be Daddy Part
Because
2.
because she would just keep running.
Yeah,
Because that was, it was like the whole thing. She basically just like ran until
somebody else helped her.
yeah.
And like in Silent Hill, people can only help you so far. So she might find somebody and they might help her, but
They won't be enough.
yeah, so if you want to leave her highlighted because she's gonna travel with the others for a little bit, we can do that.
Who do we want her to get help from?
I feel like she just runs until she runs into some people, but I don't know what people she's gonna run into yet.
Steve and Nancy?
Yeah, we can do Steve and Nancy.
Ace is fine. Bill regrets from just being a
Literally,
soldier during the Vietnam
yeah,
War. Um, I think he could get over it.
I think he could too.
I think he's got what it takes to get through it. Um,
I was gonna say he's probably gonna be the one. Like he's probably actually gonna pair up with like Leon and Jill because they've also seen combat, and possibly even Jonah.
I was actually thinking because like the whole that was the thing with the Vietnam War too, with civilian deaths were like a
Yeah,
huge issue. Him and Jonah easily.
I was gonna say he could with Jonah because of the civilian deaths, and then also Jill wanted to go back for the people left behind in Raccoon City, and people got left behind in Nam. So, and
Yeah.
I mean, hell, that's one of Bill's fucking perks. He got left behind, so he's really a twofer. And it's like he's literally probably being pursued by the dead people that he's witnessed before that he may have killed in combat, and he's just like, it sucks, but
Ung's disappointed parents.
Hmm. I think this might be another run from them and try and find somebody to help. Who else has parents' issues?
Jane,
Okay.
Yui.
I feel like Yui's just like she's just gonna give a pep talk at the end. Like, get over your shit, people. I got a race tomorrow.
um, we could do Fung and Jane teamed up.
Okay. I think David dies here
Yeah,
because I feel like he's going to fight it, and he's still not going to like accept it,
yeah.
and he eventually just becomes exhausted and dies. It's like, I'm sorry, you can't fight the truth, boy.
Yeah, because I think he would deny that like what he did was wrong and not own up to that he does regret some of the shit. Um,
Now, Tap, I think he's gonna fall along the lines of the one guy that never like accepted. Like he tried to justify a lot of stuff, and I think he'll survive the first round just because he actually did try. Like he put in the effort. He really, honest to God, devoted his life to trying to help somebody. So I think he's going to like make it to meet up with the group, but he's not going to get past round 2 because he's going to try and justify everything, and he's never going to get. He's just not.
okay.
This is literally Saw
Jeff.
Part 2.
Yeah.
Just literally being followed around by the fucking tricycle thing.
Jeff left his dog.
Okay, I want Jeff to make it because of the ending.
Okay. Just put a note
Hey,
there.
Lord Sylvie.
Okay. Ash.
I hate to say it, but Ash has survived this scenario before.
Of course he
Um,
has. Ash has been through everything.
because he has, oh my god, they put him on drugs to try and get him to like be okay with shit, with the whole like, if you don't accept this, you're gonna die. And he's just like, I really just want to go to Jacksonville. So I think he would make it to round 2
So he's
because
a
even though he made it through the whole you have to like own up to what you did, he still feels bad. So I think he's gonna go on to round 2. He's not just gonna get off scot free.
okay. All right.
Nancy's gonna have to get help from Steve because she's gonna be haunted by the terrible visage of Barb.
It's gonna be Barb and then like all of the upside down shit
Yeah,
and like the Demogorgon and everything. Like
yeah. Steve's gonna try and help her out. I think that like, okay, so Steve's gonna help out Nancy. I think Steve is going to stay in Silent Hill of his own volition to try and help her get out.
but I think him, if he's able to successfully help Nancy, would help him also get over his thing of not being good enough for her.
Oh yeah,
Because if he can help her, he's good enough.
yeah.
But if he doesn't help her, like they either live together or die together.
Honestly, I could see Ash just like walking over and telling him, "Boy, you're good enough. You could get that ass." And
Just a
that's the push he really
slap on the
needed.
back.
Yeah, and that was the push he really needed. He free from Silent Hill forever.
And then, oh, no, but then if he leaves and Nancy's not done yet.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I think he'll stay of his own volition, but I think he's gonna get over it.
Okay.
But I honestly think that like Ash is gonna give him that slap on the back and that pep talk that he really needs. Because it's becoming a headcanon that Ash is Steve's bad dad.
Okay, so they're gonna, let's highlight them for round 2. All right, Yui obviously has to make it to round 2 because she's helping out Claude.
Yeah, she's fine.
Zarina.
I think she'll make it to round 2, but I don't know if she's gonna make it out.
Okay. Cheryl.
I mean, she's fine. She's been living this since before. Like she's outside of Silent Hill having these dreams. She's fine.
Felix.
uh, I don't think Yunjin is the one you wanted to type in there.
Oh, yeah. I wanted that on Jill. Uh, okay. So Felix.
I don't know if how Felix would do.
I think.
Like I feel like of all the people whose lore exists, like I feel like I have had the most disinterest in Felix and Elodie's lore.
So I think with like the imposter syndrome thing, like if he was like faced with something like some personification of that, I think he would just be like, yeah, I am an imposter and just like accept death. Oh, big
uh,
stretch from a Bahamut.
he just he's faced with the imposter syndrome and he's like, I'm ready for death, just takes his shirt off and Pyramid Head's just like, you're free to go.
No, we're gonna kill him.
Okay.
Elodie, or it was basically her parents and a bunch of other parents, right?
Yeah.
Your camera's out of focus. I don't know what happened.
Behave.
There we go.
Sweet. Bahamut moved. I blame him.
I'm just gonna go ahead and put it. Yunjin's not getting out of here. Okay.
I would love to see her hit round 2 though. I
So
honestly
we have
God
so
would.
many in round 2, but it's your birthday.
Yes.
Fine.
I'm sorry. I enjoy Yunjin heavy episodes.
Okay, Elodie.
I don't know how Elodie would deal with it.
We could take her out.
Okay.
It was just too many parents.
It was a PTA meeting she just couldn't escape.
Leon.
I'm gonna say Leon dies
Okay.
because he wants to find out who's responsible with Umbrella Corps, and I feel like that is a task that's a little too big for him, and it would exhaust him. Eventually, Pyramid Head would have to put a cleaver in that ass.
He'd take it, I'm sure.
And Michaela, I think, is also going to go down
Yeah.
because the entity scared the shit out of her. So if she had to go to the other Silent Hill and she had to, like, if she was faced with, like, facing the entity to save Julian, I think it would scare her too much and she wouldn't be able to do it.
High anxiety.
Not enough booners. You can't shadow step the entity.
All right, so here we go. In round 2, we have Claudette, Lori, Bill, Fung, Tap, Jane, Ash, Nancy, Steve, Yui, Zarina, Cheryl, Yunjin, Jill, Jonah.
Okay, so let's have all of these guys meet up. Do we want to, like, push them all to the bottom so we have the list?
Oh God. Yes. Start thinking about what you want to happen, though.
Okay, okay. Because we need to get Pyramidhead in on this. So, let's see. All right. Hung gets help from Jane. Tap his whole life. Okay. I've got one kind of coming together here. Um, hmm. Just love Jeff. I'm just imagining just everybody meets up in one room and they're all like talking about why they think they're in Silent Hill. They're just going down the list. I let my mom down. I didn't believe my friends and they all died. Vietnam. I disappointed my parents my whole life. Tap. I lost my partner and I've been obsessing over this one serial killer my entire life. Jane, I've got mommy issues. Ash, everybody died around him and he didn't get to tap that ass at this last restaurant that he went to. Nancy's Barb. Steve, I'll just say Barb because he's not gonna admit what he Nancy.
Just like, me too,
Uh,
Barb.
yeah. Yui's just like, this guy broke into my house and I beat the hell out of him, but he still broke into my house. And then my dad's really pissed that I'm doing this motorcycle shit. Zarina's like, I'm obsessed with my father's death. Cheryl's like, I just keep having dreams of gore. And everybody just kind of stares at her. And Yunjin's like, I didn't fucking do anything. Jill's like, I left some people behind in Raccoon City. Jonah's like, it's my fault a lot of civilians died. And they all turn and look at Jeff. And Jeff's like, I left my dog behind.
Oh, okay. Round 3 or round 2.
Okay, so what I saw coming together, because we gotta bring Daddy Pyramid Head in. This is going to require a push to get some shit going. And I think he's got himself a twofer with Nancy and Lori. Because I could easily see Nancy trying to save Lori and Lori not believing her or trusting her, and Lori would die. But in this case, like, Nancy would have to recognize, like, Steve would try and talk her through it, like, there was nothing you could have done. Like, Pyramid Head's behind them. She's like, listen, I think that this place is safe. We should go here. We'll get away from them. And then Lori just, fucking screams, ignores her, keeps running, closes the door behind her, and then leans into the door, and then the fucking
Then
line
Cleaver
just
comes
goes,
through it.
yeah, just kills her. And Nancy's fucking horrified because, another person just died, and Steve's just like takes her by the shoulders, like, there was nothing you could have done. But the question is that enough for Nancy to do that? Like, is that enough for Nancy to get over it, or is that guilt going to continue to linger?
I think that might be enough.
Okay, so Nancy is free.
But she tries to help.
Like, if she did everything in her power to try and save Lori, and Lori just didn't listen. So Nancy's finally free, and
Steve
they
got a pep talk from Ash, but also successfully helped Nancy.
yes.
So they're good to go.
Steve 100% could kick Jonathan's ass, free from Silent Hill. And he's just like, I'm gonna walk her home now. And Ash is like, you do that. You do that real good.
Swear to God, I can type. Okay.
I don't think Jonah's gonna make it out,
No.
because I think if when Pyramid Head comes for him to try and push him forward, he's probably like literally gonna be pushing him towards like a literal pile of corpses. I could see him doing that and making him see all the people that died, and Jonah just can't. He just can't. I don't think he's going to be able to walk out of that. So in the when he's between Pyramid Head and facing his one regret, Pyramid Head's going to kill him.
All right.
I honestly think that they might end up, like, the party might actually end up having to put Tap down, because Silent Hill fucks with people. And if Tap is constantly being followed by the little tricycle dude and is seeing shit and hearing shit, he's eventually just gonna fucking. Or he might just, take himself out. Either or. But I think Tap's gonna lose it. Like, Pyramid Head doesn't even have to do work. Hell, he might see Pyramid Head, look at it like a reverse bear trap, and that's just, he's done. Game over.
So loses it and
Yeah.
takes himself out.
Yeah, let's do that.
Everyone else is already dealing with their shit right now.
Yeah, I don't think Tap's gonna deal with that shit. And honestly, again, I think he's gonna see Pyramid Head's head and be reminded of the reverse bear trap or any of the other head traps, and
Right.
that's,
Like the knife thing and
yeah, it's done. He's
yeah.
gone.
All right.
Ash, again, he's been through this shit before and he's come out fine. I honestly think it reaches the point where he's just there for shiggles. Like he's just trying to he wants to hit that Yunjin ass. He's just there because he wants to be there. He's just bored.
All right.
Reminds him of Jacksonville. Okay. I don't know how Cheryl would deal with it. But we know she's gotten out before.
Right. Like, obviously. Do we want Yunjin to this is it? This is her last stop?
I think so. Like when Pyramidhead finally comes to push her towards her resolution, she's literally probably going to be like backing away from I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. Literally to the point where like she dies saying she never did anything.
Yeah.
She's never going to own that. Okay. So we got a nice group here. So Yui was trying to help Claudette. She's probably also trying to help Feng as well
Well,
at
Fung
this
and
point.
Jane are together.
Maybe they'll all get together. I mean, they've all got family issues. Just like a little powwow, just like Bill and Jill just like go off by themselves because they're dealing with similar issues. Zarina, Yui, Claudette, Jane, and Fung are all dealing with family issues. And then there's Cheryl who dreams of gore.
Hold on, let me get everybody closer here together. Oh my god, that didn't work how I thought it might. Okay, anyway. Fuck it. Okay, so Fung, Jane, Claudette, and Yui are all dealing with parent issues. I think that's a little bit different from what Zarina's dealing with.
Yeah.
So I think Zarina might be on her own, Cheryl on her own, Jill and Bill together.
I just imagine that Cheryl, like, she just uses her sexy beam and just breaks out.
What?
So there is in one of the Silent Hill games that she's in, I don't remember how you get it, but she has a sexy beam. Hold on. Sexy beam.
Like a Sailor Moon thing?
Yes. Yeah.
In Midwich by daylight, Pyramidhead by moonlight. Having dreams of gore all night. She is the one named Cheryl Moon.
Okay, so for anybody that's interested in this, let me just post this over here. There you go. I just posted it in your chat. She has the sexy beam. Technically also has Heather beam, but she has the sexy beam. And if we're gonna have the dog ending, just watching your face.
Wait, it is a Sailor Moon thing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Joking about Sailor Moon.
Yep.
Okay.
It's a thing.
Her sexy beam is what fuels Ash to the end.
I'm just imagining just Cheryl just sees Pyramid Head walking in the distance and it's like, I've seen that ass, but have you seen my sexy beam? Even Pyramid Head's ass isn't a match for the sexy beam.
Oh, yeah, it's 100% happening. Okay. Jesus Christ.
The more
Yeah.
you know.
What is this game? That's canon?
It's in there. I get it. I don't remember how you get it,
Oh my god.
but it exists. It's like it literally is like a kill all thing. Like you can just sexy beam your way through there and you're good to go.
Oh man. That has to be like a programmer like one of those codes that like the developers use
Yeah.
to be able to like get to different areas of the game easily. Um that's hilarious. That's amazing. That's 100% how she's getting out. Um because
Sexy
listen, what's the
beam.
opposite? What is the opposite of gore? Sexy.
Well, I mean, Pyramid Head is into like punishment, BDSM, sexy stuff, sexy beam.
Mhm.
It's her counterattack.
All right. Do we want to kill off anyone else or do we want them to go further or
Okay, well let's work with Bill and Jill since they're together.
okay.
So they're probably both having a very similar instance of the other Silent Hill since they're both
Dealing
dealing with people that were left behind
Bill
or
also has the people that he's killed.
yeah.
Um
And I could see Bill walking her through this.
I'd say Bill I think could do really well with because he's been the one left behind.
Yeah.
So I
And
think
he's
he
like
would do really well talking her through it it's what was needed.
and she did try to come back for some people. She actually like she got her team out from what I read. She got them out and then she actually did try to go back and save people left behind. So I feel like Bill will be like you did the best that you could. It's, it's okay. I've been there before. I understand.
And she'll make it.
And she'll make it.
But Bill then
I think Bill might do I think like in the game he just kind of accepts it and he's left behind because
that's what I
he
was
was injured.
thinking.
He was just like I accept it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like he'll just accept that like this is where he's meant to be and die.
Mhm. He gets Jill out. Jill gets out of the other Silent Hill, but Bill doesn't.
Okay, I'm gonna make this a slightly more readable orange. That doesn't exist. Yes, it does. Brown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Our family gang and or Zarina.
Yes. So, who of these would actually get over their shit? Yui would, because Yui walked up to Oni and looked him in the face like, I'll kick your fucking ass. That's literally what she would like if she got pulled to the other side. If faced with her father, I could kick your fucking ass. Looking at the guy that broke into her apartment, I'll kick your ass again. Like
So
Yui would destroy this. Yui does not take shit from these people. I feel like Claudette, like, she would get the pep talk from Yubi, but and she probably say it helped her out, but I don't think she's gonna be able to let it go.
No.
Like, she might try and pretend it, like using Yui's words, but
She'll go in to face Monster Mom, and then Pyramid Head's just gonna show up, and she's just
she's
gonna
like,
buckle.
yeah, I could see her like she's facing the monster mom. She's like repeating everything Yui said to her, but she's slowly backing away, and then bumps into Pyramid Head, and that's the end. Yep.
I'll let her get spanked. The least we can do for her.
It was we'll say it was in her house and they had a nice fireplace.
So Feng Jing and Serena.
I don't think Zarina's gonna make it because she researched and made a documentary and like she's done a lot to actually like get like kind of a revenge or a resolution.
And it still
But
wasn't enough
yeah,
because she still saw him when she was
and I
going
don't
into the fog.
yeah, I don't think that Zarina's gonna get killed by Pyramid Head. I think she's gonna be another one, like kind of like the one where I was talking about where the lady walked into the fire because she's like, this is what my life is like all the time because she couldn't get over it. And she just accepts it and walks into the fire.
Okay. So Feng and Jane.
Feng did not handle it well.
Neither did Jane. Jane got into a car accident. She was so distraught.
Didn't Jane eventually like kind of
No.
sort of at least on?
She she tried to forgive her mom and invited her on her talk show, and then her mom pretended that they weren't even related. And so she then left, and I think she just got like absolutely wasted and then drove off the side of a road. And that's how she ended up here.
Oh. Yeah, Jane's not gonna make it then. Shit.
They help each other to death. Fung dies too.
I think so. I was gonna say I could also see this being like a twofer where like when they go to the other, like Jane sees Fung is like her mom and just like cuts loose on her, and Fung sees Jane like as uh like her mom, like kind of a hallucination type thing.
Ooh.
And then Jane can't get over it, but Jane thinks she has to get over it and like beats her to death and is like sobbing and realizes she can't let it go. And when she finally stops and realizes it's Fung, Pyramid Head's just right behind her and she's gone.
I like that. That's dramatic.
Meanwhile, at the very end, Jeff has been wandering Silent Hill for a very long time. He kind of separated with everybody else because they were having serious problems.
And he
And
just
he
felt
was,
like he didn't belong.
Yeah, he just felt bad about his dog. He's got his cell phone out. He can't, and his dog is literally like his home screen. It just flicks between different pictures of his dog. His
I just think of Fry from Futurama.
We don't need to talk about that. That's traumatic enough. And he's just like, that's all he does is he's just flipping through pictures and he misses his dog. He's been watching videos of him, hopes he's okay, has been trying to find Wi-Fi to connect to like the pet cube to check on him. There's backed up text messages of him trying to get any reception to get somebody to go check on him. And he's trying to get to the highest place possible to get reception. And he gets to the top room of the largest building and he opens the door. And there is a large room full of monitors and buttons and a chair that slowly swivels around. And it's his good boy. And behind the dog on all the monitors are people that died.
Cheryl, meanwhile.
Pyramidhead is no longer dragging his cleaver, he's dragging a giant bag of dog food.
Cheryl's just sexy beaming her way. Ash is following that sexy beam ass.
It's like a magnet.
They both just somehow Deus Ex
Literally.
Machina find their way out.
He literally follows her out of Silent Hill. She's been there before. She knows Ash is just right behind her. Just trying to impress her, like pulling out every attachment he for his arm. You know, she's shooting off the sexy beam. He's just got the shotgun. Hey, baby, you like that?
Oh god. Okay. All right. So we have a few survivors who are not drawn to Silent Hill. They really either have just no regrets of what they did or we don't want to talk about it. So Nia, Ace, Kate, Adam, and Quentin have been spared, but all of the rest have been drawn to Silent Hill based off of all of the guilts and regrets that they have had in life. Our first victim is Dwight, who poisoned his boss. And when he gets to Silent Hill and he goes to the other Silent Hill, as Zen refers to it, which honestly 2 hours later I don't know what that means, but I'll just say it, other Silent Hill, he sees hallucinations of his boss, and it is
like the upside down of Silent Hill.
Okay. I figured it was something like that. But he sees hallucinations of his boss, which just drive him completely mad. And he is not going to be able to get over what he did. And he's just going to rot here. Meg, feeling guilty about vanishing on her mother. She's running through Silent Hill, and she just keeps running until she ends up into other Silent Hill, where she has to stop running and face her monster mom. And she manages to do it, and she's able to leave Silent Hill. Jake left his family to go live in the woods.
Yeah.
When he gets to Silent Hill, he is faced with hallucinations of his family who attack him about getting over his pride and wanting to not be part of the family. But he's too stubborn, and he won't accept that, so he dies. David, we learned, has done some shit. Has done some wow. David's done some shit. But ultimately, he doesn't feel guilty about most of it. He just has daddy issues because his father was abusive to his mother. And while he did stand up to him at one point, he does still have some issues with his dad. When he gets to Silent Hill, all of the monsters that he faces, he fights them. And I guess his thing was he needs to learn to not fight.
He needs to deal with it.
Yeah, and go to therapy.
Yes.
But he keeps fighting until he's just purely exhausted. He can't fight anymore, and he gets taken out. Felix has mass amounts of imposter syndrome as an architect, and that is something he's unable to get over. So he's going to just be consumed within Silent Hill and never leave, be trapped there forever. Because he just accepts I am an imposter and lives with that. Elodie is responsible for her parents' death, Felix's parents' death, um, a bunch of other people's parents' death. A lot of parents died because of Elodie. So when she goes to Silent Hill, she is faced with hallucinations or ghosts of all those parents, a PTA meeting of nightmares. It's too many parents. She can't face them all. And nobody was there to help her because Felix is doing his own shit. Um, and so Elodie is gone. Leon is obsessed with Umbrella Corps and what happened in Raccoon City. And he cannot let go of that obsession. And so, since he is unable to let go of it, he's also going to be just trapped in Silent Hill to rot. Michaela summoned the entity to her world, and her roommate vanished, and she couldn't find them anywhere. And so when she goes to Silent Hill and she goes to the other Silent Hill, she needs to face the entity and fight the entity to save her roommate. But she has anxiety because she's a millennial. And she can't do it. And so she is murdered by the entity and does not save her roommate. But we have some people who make it a little bit further. Let me get water. Lori, haunted by Myers and not believing in her friends or the kids that she was babysitting who were telling her the boogeyman was there. She ends up getting help from Steve and Nancy. Nancy is there because of what happened to Barb. And Steve is there because of his guilt of not being good enough for Nancy, but he says he's there for Barb also. So they're going to be helping each other. Steve does get a pep talk from Ash. I guess Steve at some point opened up to Ash of being like, I'm not actually here for Barb. My girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend. I'm just not good enough for her. And Ash is like, no, you're good enough. And slaps him on the back. And Steve's like, wow, thank you, man.
Just gives him the birds and the bees, but the Ash version.
Shotguns and chainsaws.
Yes. Shotguns and chainsaws.
So Lori, um, Lori not believing her friends. Nancy and Steve try to help her out. Nancy, particularly, tries to do everything she can for Lori of um trying to come to an acceptance of you don't have to run. You can face the danger head on, but Lori decides to run anyway. And as she's getting chased all over Silent Hill, she does her classic move of running into a room, shutting doors behind her. She stops to wait to listen, and in comes the cleaver, and she's dead. Nancy is distraught that she couldn't help Lori, but her and Steve have a heart to heart, and Steve talks her through it, and he says, "You did everything that you could have done." Um,
Barb would have been proud of you.
yeah, just Barb would have been glad that you were there and that you actually tried to help a friend when they needed you. And so Nancy finally gets over her Barb issues, and Steve proves that he's good enough for Nancy, and they both get out. Um, Jonah, on the other hand, has teamed up with Bill and Jill. He feels a lot of guilt for his part in cracking a code that caused some bombs to be dispersed on civilians. And so when he is getting pushed through Silent Hill with Pyramidhead hot on his trail, he's going towards just a pile of victims of what he considers his fault. And it's something that he cannot face. And Pyramidhead just gets closer and closer until finally close
Hi,
enough
Caspero.
to just knock him out. Hello, Caspero. Then Jill and Bill go off. We'll get back to them in a second.
Yeah, I come back to them.
Tap.
Feel so bad for Tap. This is like the worst thing that could have happened to him, other than what already.
I know. So
It is.
Tap.
It is my birthday today, Caspero.
Yes. Tap is. Tap regrets all of his partners who have died, his obsession with the Jigsaw case,
Yeah.
the fact that he could not move beyond it. So being put into the realm of Silent Hill is even worse. He has the little Jigsaw puppet following him around. Everywhere he looks, he's seeing different traps. He's seeing victims that he couldn't save. It's an absolute PTSD textbook nightmare for him. he he just fucking loses it and takes himself out. And
Thank you, Caspero.
we will politely move on from that.
Yeah, we'll let Tap have his time.
Yunjin is here because she was allowing Trickster to get away with. She knew he was killing people and using their screams in his songs, and because the songs were so successful and he was so successful and therefore she was so successful, she was excusing it. And the fact that she didn't kill anybody meant she wasn't doing anything wrong. So she continues to excuse what she did. So even as Pyramidhead is following her down through Silent Hill, past Trickster and all of his victims, she continues to keep denying it until Pyramidhead catches up and gives her the old quack quack spanking.
See, like, Trickster fist bumping Pyramidhead as he goes by. Or like handing him the baseball bat. Like, don't worry, buddy, I got you. I'll spot this one for you. Imagine like that sparkly, glowing ass bat, and Pyramidhead's just like, okay. By
She
the way,
starts
did you know
dragging it
that
behind him.
technically Pyramidhead is the tallest character in DBD, even above Nemesis?
Really?
Yeah, apparently the top of the pyramid clears Nemesis.
Wow. That's impressive. It's because he's so big. Anyway.
He is. That's a big boy.
So Jill and Bill, after Jonah's death, they're teamed up. Jill really regrets having left people behind in Raccoon City. She did get a team to try to go back to save people, but she couldn't save everybody. And so that is something she's carried with her. Bill, having been somebody left behind, he's actually here from his regrets of his participation in the Vietnam War. Since he is somebody who was left behind in a zombie apocalypse, he's the perfect person to talk to Jill about how well she did, about her. She didn't have to try to go back, but she did, and that was. And sometimes you have to accept that there are sacrifices in that scenario, and that he's like, I don't regret staying behind, so I'm sure those people understand in the end. And so he's able to help Jill kind of get through and accept that she did the best that she could in that scenario. And she's able to get out and leave. Bill, however, still has his own demons to deal with from Nam and realizes that honestly, this is the hell he's supposed to be in. And so he just accepts his fate to stay and rot in Silent Hill.
I just imagine like Pyramid Head just walks up to him and he's just like, I'm ready.
Gets that spanking.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
He might even get the instead of the mini
The
Mori, he might get like the real one
ooh. Yeah. He deserves it.
because at least he'll get a moment while Pyramid Head walks away to admire the view.
Yui gives Claudette a pep talk about because Claudette is there because of mostly letting down her mom of um her just being very into plants and introverted and not who her mom wanted her to be, and she feels very guilty for that and like she let her down. And so Yui's talking to her about, hey, you know what, I let my father down. Sometimes you just gotta be your own person. You got to stand up for who you want to be. Your parents don't own your life. Gives her a whole pep talk, and Claudette's like, yeah, I got this. And Yui's like, great, I'm gonna go deal with my shit. Uh, so when Yui goes into her part of Silent Hill, she just has to fight a bunch of people to get over her trauma of like someone breaking into her house and any resolved issues that she has with her father not wanting her to be in the motorcycle gang. And she has to
Imagine like she just walks in and her dad opens his mouth to say
she
something
just
shitty to her.
punches him.
She just kicks him right in the nuts.
So she's not afraid to kick ass and prove that she shouldn't feel guilty about it. And she's able to walk out of here free. Claudette, however, goes into her version of Silent Hill. She's repeating everything that Yui told her. And then she faces a monster version of her mom and realizes that she can repeat it all she wants. She doesn't believe it. And so a Pyramid Head catches up to her. She can't fight her mom. She can't fight Pyramid Head. And Claudette, unfortunately, gets clapped. Zarina has been consumed her entire life, obsessed with her father's death. She made a whole documentary about it. She started talking to inmates about other stuff. It seemed like in her life that she was actually over it, like the documentary helped, but then
Mhm.
turns out she actually is not over her father's death. Kind of understandable. But when she goes to Silent Hill, she is still so consumed by the obsession with her father's death, and it's something she refuses to let go of. And since she cannot let go of that obsession, she cannot leave Silent Hill. Pyramid Head will catch up to her and will take her out. And then Fung and Jane, which is probably one of my favorites. Um, Jane has issues with her mother, who was a celebrity. And when Jane started to become a celebrity of her own, her mother essentially disowned her, did not acknowledge any relation between them. And when Jane had her own talk show, she invited her mom onto the talk show as kind of a reconciliation move. And her mom continued to pretend like this was the first time they were ever meeting, which really just destroyed Jane to the point that she crashed her car. Fung left home to become a super gamer, disappointing her parents, and she ended up spiraling out of control, going to bars, just destroying her life. So she's very upset about disappointing her parents. And so what we have here as they go into their Silent Hills is a double hallucination. Fung sees Jane as her mom, Jane sees Fung as her mom, and Jane starts beating the shit out of Fung.
She's gonna get over it, damn it.
She's ready to take on her mommy issues. But unfortunately, she does kill Fung. And when she realizes that she's killed Fung, she also realizes that wasn't enough. And she's still not over her mommy issues. And Pyramidhead comes dragging his cleaver around the corner to take out Jane. Now, through all of this trauma that everyone has been enduring, there is our dearest Jeff. Jeff's biggest regret in going to the fog is that his dog was left behind with his friend or roommate or whatever it was. And he just wants to check that his dog's okay. So he's in the other Silent Hill. And there's no cell phone reception. He's wandering around this place trying to find somewhere there's reception. Every time he thinks there might be, he sends a message, but it never goes through. And he eventually finds a very tall building, and he thinks that's my hope. So he goes to the tall building and he makes his way all the way to the very top. When he gets there, he opens a door, and inside is a supercomputer with all of these monitors set up everywhere, dead bodies on all of the screens, people that he had seen just hours before. And a chair sits in the middle, and as it slowly turns around, there he is, Jeff's dog, waiting for him the whole time. They reunite. It's beautiful. The dog leaps into Jeff's arms. He pets him. He rubs his tummy. He has some dog treats stashed away in his pocket that he forgot about. Cheryl. I'm not gonna play the clip again. Cheryl's here because of dreams of gore. And when she spoke to everyone earlier, and everyone kind of discussed why they might have been here, and she said that, everyone was like, the fuck does that mean? And she was just like, nightmares! She has a secret weapon that she has found, which is a wand, and she does a Sailor Moon transformation that gives her the power of Sexy Beam. And so while she may have nightmares of gore, they are no match for Sexy Beam because she can Sexy Beam her way through everything. And one of the biggest allures of the Sexy Beam is that it attracts Ash's attention. So Ash, seeing the Sexy Beam in the distance, flocks to it like a moth to a flame. And he and Cheryl, wherever her Sexy Beam doesn't hit, Ash is there with a shotgun to take out what's left standing. And the two of them successfully leave Silent Hill.
Which, by the way, Ash has been free to leave for a while now.
Oh, yeah. Ash got over his shit in round 1 and decided to stay for the adventure. Because it's not about just getting over your guilt and regrets. It's the sexy Cheryls you find along the way.
He's actively trying to recruit her.
Hey, you know what? She's in the friend group with Steve.
They get out of Silent Hill and his beater ass of a car is just waiting out there. With his little trailer full of used condoms.
Oh god, he doesn't throw them away.